Hey everybody, I'm Jake Plesh. Welcome to another episode of Design Duels. Heads up, this is going to be a pretty long video. Eddie and I had a lot of fun talking about a lot of different topics, from the Arkham Batman series to the industry and how to get jobs. Feel free to draw something and just listen to it in the background. Before we start, don't forget to check out my Discord community where you can participate in the videos and learn from free resources and friends. Additionally, stick around to the end of the video and I'll announce my next guest and what we'll be drawing. Without further ado, let's jump into it. Hey everybody, I'm here with Eddie Smith. He's an iconic artist who worked on D&D, Wing Commander, and most notably Halo, at least for me. I'm a huge fan. How's it going, Eddie?
It's going pretty good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it should be fun. We decided on, I think I sent you just a link to a Wikipedia article for the prompt, which was Raiju, which is a Japanese mythology sort of beast. It's pretty bizarre when you read the description. I'll probably post some of the description from the Wikipedia entry up because, I mean, there's like two sections and one of them lists like 50 animals that it's based off of. It's like, oh, yeah. Sometimes it's this, sometimes it's that. So it's pretty open. I'm curious to see where we go with it. There was one that stuck out to me, and I'll kind of talk about that as we're watching the videos. But beyond that, let's just jump into it.
Cool.
So you can see on the top left, and this has been kind of a habit for me lately, I've been doing some traditional sketching, just like doodling, kind of thinking things through, and then I usually kind of throw it in and then do actual thumbnails digitally.
It's a pretty good way to start. Shows more of the wolf kind of
yeah, I kept
head.
I'll have to throw some of my references up. I actually had there's some weird animals like a coati and some like weaselly type stuff. I definitely kept feeling wolfish. And then the other thing that I thought was really interesting in the description on Wikipedia was a certain version that was much more like crab spider face kind of shaped. So I was trying to get some of that more like chitinous plates going on. I thought about going way further into the spider thing, but it just felt like it should be more of a something with teeth.
Yeah.
So I had some weird looking squirrels here. I think this is actually like more of a squirrel based one. Trying to push the Japanese feel with some like samurai shapes a little bit. I'm curious to see like how our processes are different. Ideally, if this was like a full thing, I would have liked to thumbnail this like quite a bit more. But I did kind of. I hit something I liked pretty quick, so I kind of just pushed into that.
Yeah.
I think thematically that one ends up being. Well, the final ends up being close to that one, but I like the body shape of that one that I didn't end up going with. So I ended up bashing just kind of two, like a head and a body together. I ended up liking a lot of the heads, but that one kind of just spoke to me a little more.
Yeah.
So when you're like exploring early on, what do you usually, I mean, we'll get into your process too, but I'm curious how this just compares.
Oh, well, my process is different depending on the illustration and my goal.
Yeah.
It's not as I guess you could say unilateral, or it's not as consistent as some other artists where they have the same process every time.
Yeah.
So it's a little hard, a little difficult for me to pinpoint a specific process. So usually in any kind of we all get asked that question, especially if we're looking for concept work, and then
Yep.
say, what's your process a lot of the times.
Do you struggle with it being different a lot of times, or is it like a strength? Because I'll say for me, my method is not super refined, but then like sometimes it's like it should be because I'll get super sidetracked or I'll start doing weird stuff.
I don't know. I'm only going off my feeling here. I don't know if it's the case. I believe that it used to be a strength and now it's not, because I think more people look for a concrete process for some reason.
Sure. Yep.
The further you go away from the time that I first got in the industry, things have gotten a lot more standardized.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yep. I've seen that even externally. I've seen that quite a bit.
And I don't have a standardized way of doing anything, because I don't think life is standardized. It's like I look at it like, I took jujitsu for 6 years.
Yeah.
And there's really, especially in fighting, if you watch mixed martial arts, there might be certain standardized things you do to train, but a fight, is very, not just in the octagon or on the mat, but in the street. It's very, do what works. And sometimes you're not gonna, the normal way you do things won't work in that moment.
Yeah. I'm assuming you're familiar with like one of my favorite quotes ever. I actually have it in a frame over here, is absorb what is useful, discard what is not, and add what is uniquely your own. Bruce Lee. That applies to so many things. And I think I have a similar, I feel like it's a little bit of a double-edged sword, where I love learning new methods and stuff. So I'm always like, oh, I try this method of doing it, try this method of doing it, which I think is good because it keeps it exciting. And I'm always like learning new things, but then also it can be a detriment if you're not being consistent enough to like master of the skill. It's like, oh, you just keep jumping around. But I think that's where ideally you'd have a mix of like, you're learning new stuff and you're taking what you actually think is useful after you've tried it, and then solidifying that into something a little more concrete.
Well, that's the part I would have to be careful with, is the not mastering one thing.
Yeah.
I don't believe that I've mastered one thing, but at the same time, I don't have a whole lot of commentary about my own work and my own process. I kind of leave that up to other people. And all I could say about the closest thing to commentary I give is what I want to do with it, or where I want to go, or the type of stories or projects I want to do. And again, my approach to the artwork, it depends on the story, depends on the project. It depends on what I'm feeling at that moment too. Also depends on my timetable. How much time do I have to explore versus, do I have to get more to the point, so to speak? Like, find the final design quickly. Sometimes a final design comes to me really fast, and I don't need to do a lot of iterations and exploration. And there's other times where I do need to explore. And one thing that's kind of worked against me later in my career is I don't like to do sketches and drawings for the sake of coming up with a bunch of different variations of the same thing. Mm-hmm. I don't, if I know a design works, I like it, and sometimes it takes me one, sometimes it takes me 100. But if I found that one, I'm not doing 99 more.
Yeah.
I'm just not. I don't, and I know some art directors don't necessarily like that, but at the same time, I just think it's, I don't think it's necessary. This is my own. This is only my opinion. I'm not saying it should become everybody thinks. It's just how I feel about it.
Quick design note, or just like comment on the design. So I had this idea of kind of like when you rub your socks on the carpet or you get charged up and your hair stands on end from the electricity. Yeah. I wanted to add some leather, kind of like something that's like human to the creature, just because I think in the lore it says this beast is like kind of a companion or servant of like the god of lightning and thunder. So I wanted to kind of show that a little bit with these like leather straps and make it look more like a sort of like a pet as opposed to just a wild beast. But then I thought it'd be cool to have these like coins that as he gets charged up, they kind of statically repel each other and stand. It's like just kind of float up in the air. Could be some like cool animation stuff in there. And then
Turning out great so far.
I was really happy with, this was kind of a shot in the dark, but I was looking at some of the references I had, and there was these really cool like tiger stripes or like stripes on some of the quadi, and I'll put some of those up in the video. But I really like how the fur patterns kind of came out. Yeah, pangolin too, for sure. Yeah, I threw in a quick background. I have like that blue block is just to color pick for a multiply layer, so I don't have to keep turning that off and on, or changing it to normal and going back and forth. It's funny because this is the stage where it's like probably put a couple hours in after this even, but it's like it doesn't change much. You know, you're kind of like just little micro polishing from here on out. I think your take on like the iteration stuff is interesting. And I agree it's probably super art director dependent and like what they're looking for. But if you do hit it early on and you really like it,
don't get me wrong, I do. If it's my job to do 99 more iterations, I will do it. I just don't think it's necessary. So I'm not saying other artists should tell the art director, no, I'm not doing 99 more. No, I'm not.
Well, I mean, yeah, and the job is like the art director, they're essentially your client. Like they have to be happy with what you're giving them. And if they're not happy with that first one, then yeah, you're doing more. But
I'm not advocating that you say, no, I'm not doing it. When I'm approaching my own work, you know, sometimes I find the design early, other times I don't.
Yep. And I'm sure, like, depending on the art director, if they really like your first design, maybe they're just, yeah, that's good. Let's move forward with it.
I remember the further I go back in my career, it used to vary. Like sometimes they would be satisfied with the first couple, other times they'd want more. And then later in my career, I noticed after about maybe 2016, I noticed a trend where like, I don't remember the last time during that period where an art director liked the design on the 20th try, let alone more. So that's where I started to feel, is this something that they think they're supposed to do? Mm-hmm. Am I making sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Or, you know, do they want me to do these iterations because they think this is how it should be, or we haven't found it yet. Yeah. It's like, is it that we haven't found the right design, or you think we're just supposed to do a bunch more so we could seem like we're thinking this thing, you know, well thought out.
Yep.
Like I said, I noticed that trend. So when I said standardize, I noticed it's become more standard to do a bunch of iterations.
Yeah. And you started in the industry early 2000s, or was it before that even?
Technically the late 90s. I was in college when I started. So I was an intern in 96 and 97.
Cool. Yeah.
Like the tail end of 96.
It's kind of the golden age of concept art to me, based on my knowledge of it.
And then I got my first job in 98.
Yeah. Like Feng Zhu, I'm a big fan of his, and he's talked about like the industry and how much it's changed from like that same period. It's interesting. It's still changing quite a bit. Went back and forth on this lightning stuff too. I kind of overdid it, I think, here, and I ended up dialing it back in the final because I kept struggling. The biggest struggle for me with this piece was his like upper back section. I liked the design, especially in the line art, but then it gets like too busy when I rendered it. And then I wanted to try to like declutter it and make it just read clearly.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I think in the final, which should be coming up in a minute here, yeah, I took out some of the lightning, trying to just make that section a little more clear. And then I threw in, not shown in the recording, I just threw in like a little extra polish of some like debris, give them a little bit of motion. And I think one thing I kind of forgot to do is put something to give scale in there. I would say in my brain he's a little bit bigger than like the scale to the grass is probably a little bit too big for what I was imagining him. So if I put a human in there, he would look bigger.
Yeah.
But yeah, there we go.
Cool. Yeah, I liked your version.
Let me see. I gotta pull.
I don't know if it's artist, like I don't know if it's artist bias, but I already like your version better than mine.
It's that happens to me pretty often. Like I've rarely liked mine more than the person I'm doing it with, and like it. I think part of that, somebody talked about this. I don't remember who. It's some of it's like, granted, you did just see the whole process, but the magic of like, if you just see the end result, you're like, oh man, that's awesome. Don't even know how they did that. But if you see every step, or you were doing it yourself and you know what you're struggling with, you see all the errors, you're just like, oh well, that could have been better. And it's just like,
I think it's okay for you and I, because we're practicing artists.
Yeah.
We're I'd say it's cool to learn how the process of something if you are striving to do that.
Yeah.
I am against process focus when it comes to showing how a movie was made to someone who just wants to enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
Or someone, like if you want to learn how to cook, how was this? I want to. Other than that, I think it ruins the magic. I think people overanalyze stuff. It's way too, like everything is overanalyzed, even by people that don't practice it. I'm like, when's the last time you just sat down and enjoyed something?
Yeah. No, it's hard. I'm super analytical. It's hard to turn my brain off when I'm watching a movie or something. Usually I'll try to turn it off during the movie, and then if I just didn't enjoy the movie, that's when I'll be analytical. I'll be like, well, why didn't I like that? Like, what did they miss? But it is interesting because Lord of the Rings, like I'm a huge fan of that, and I watched all the extended scene stuff, and it does ruin the magic. Like, it's cool, and I love that stuff. So, I mean, I love like behind the scenes stuff for the sake of like the creative side of it. I love seeing like how did they do this, what was the art, all that stuff. But my fiance refuses to watch it because she's like, no, I'm not going to ruin the magic. I was like, oh, it's so cool, but I respect your opinion because like it does take you out of the.
Well, I mean, it's related to what we do. And work doing concept for games and film. It's natural you're gonna have to understand how both work.
Yeah.
But I do think that when it comes to just casual observers, I think it's better that they don't know how something was made. Because magicians don't, when they show you how the trick works, then it's not, there's literally the magic is gone.
Yep, for sure.
I
think that's like CGI is a big debate ongoing forever, like versus practical effects. And
I think it's the practitioner. Look at how James Cameron does CGI.
Yeah.
Because everybody else.
Yep, for sure.
It's not.
I think it's that like if people, the general audience didn't know how things were being done, like if they didn't know, oh, this was CGI, and like obviously you can tell once you get an eye for it. But like if they didn't know that, I think they wouldn't be analyzing it. It'd just be like, well, that looked good or it looked bad. But
well, anything, if it sticks out, then it was more likely a problem.
That's true. Yeah.
I look. I hear people say this a lot. Okay, I'm nitpicking, and that's one thing I don't like actually is nitpicking means you are looking for something wrong. It's not really wrong. You have to look for it.
Yep.
If you have to look for it, that's you. That's not the.
Yeah, you're ruining it for yourself and whoever you're selling it.
Looking for something wrong. That's a you problem.
I have a big.
We have to work with and for people like that.
Yeah. True. I have a big problem with people that point out plot holes in movies when the plot hole is either easily explainable, like they could have easily explained it behind the scenes, and it's like, well, yeah, obviously, but then sometimes it's like, okay, but you looked for that, and I'll use Lord of the Rings as an example again. It's like everyone's like, oh, why didn't the eagles just fly the ring over the mountain and whatever? It's like, because there would have been no story. Like, that would have sucked. So
I think that was in the book for what? How many decades? Nobody complained then.
Yep.
Yeah. At first, I was thinking about it being more humanoid, like.
Oh yeah.
Female. That's the only thing I kept, is that this Raiju is female. So
cool. Yeah, that didn't even occur to me. I like that though. Humanoid. I don't know if you stick with that, but.
Well, humanoid, like similar to Godzilla. Or
yeah.
Gojira.
Yeah.
So I fast forward to this because the majority of it is the actual painting.
Yeah.
And then that was the color version.
Oh yeah, more cat heavy. Oh, I like the standing up. It is very Godzilla kind of stance.
And then I started with that photo, sort of just photo bashed a bunch of stuff to create a background. So you get to kind of see that, more of that process. But I wanted to show the paint process on the final illustration more than the sketching and the visual process. Now, process-oriented art fans, of course, they're gonna hate my video because I'm not gonna lie, I'm more of a results-driven guy. Some people are, they don't think that that's a good thing, and I'd be lying trying to pretend I'm a process-oriented guy. I understand the importance of it, but I like to get to the final, because I want people in the theater watching my movie. I don't want people showing up to watch us rehearse for it.
Yeah.
I want you to see the movie when it's done. So I want you to eat the food when it's done. I don't want you digging in the pot. That's just how I am. It's my own little thing.
I like the cloud ad. Like, as soon as you add that, the mood changes drastically.
Yeah, so I'm like, this thing brings the lightning, so gotta have some lightning clouds. And
yeah, that was I wanted to do a background on mine that was more like storm clouds, and then the only reason I ended up doing kind of like jungle foresty fog was just to make the silhouette pop a little better. But I like the mood of this more.
This is more my environment and matte painting background coming into play here.
Yeah.
I had to do work. My most recent job was on the Wizard of Oz for Sphere in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I had to do a lot of this kind of compositing stuff. So I was kind of still on that.
That's a cool project.
Yeah, it was really fun to work on.
I still haven't seen that in person. It looks pretty wild.
Yeah, you'll like it. Me and the crew, everybody who worked on it, we were given a crew screening. All we could do was just see the mistakes and pick them up.
Yeah.
See what we're talking about when you watch a movie. All the fans loved it. I mean, it's still making the news now. It's still raking in like hundreds of millions of dollars a week.
Crazy.
So it obviously, people like it. And so why ruin the magic for them? Tell them all the mistakes and flaws. So this is where you get to see the process in here. So it's
this thing is huge.
A little bit more animal-like here.
Yeah.
It's bent over, but it's still walking on its hind legs. So I wanted to give a sense of scale. I've been playing the hell out of Ghosts of Tsushima.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I haven't played Ghosts of Yote yet because I have a PC.
Yep.
And I know they're gonna do just like how they did on Ghost of Tsushima, where it waited for like a couple of years to come out on PC.
Yep.
So, but I've been playing that like crazy. So so I was already inspired to do this.
Yeah. So I kind of have a portfolio personal project that I've just kind of arbitrarily named Blood of the Kami, but it's essentially like a God of War feeling Japanese kind of world, and that's why I picked this prompt too. Is like, I could just add that in as part of that, but that's super inspired by Ghost of Tsushima and Yote, because they did a phenomenal job on like the immersion in that game, like little details, like I freaking love the what was it? I mean, the bamboo cutting and like that the wind is your like guide stuff, like the little things like that, just like really make that game.
Those mini games.
Yeah,
like the mini games are underrated. Like if you have a lot of really cool mini games, your title is gonna just
Yeah, I don't know if you played The Witcher 3, but Gwent was like
that's my favorite game.
Yeah, same.
3. I mean, like I have to get a new chain for it. But
oh, nice. Yeah.
I'd be wearing it right now with the chain because my friend's dog jumped up on me.
Oh, really? Jeez.
And when I'm bent down, so I just gotta get a new chain. But yeah, with The Witcher 3, Red Dead Redemption 2, 1 was already my favorite game, and then 2 topped it. So Witcher, Red Dead, and Ghost of Tsushima. Definitely my and Arkham Origins.
Oh yeah. That one gets so little love. I love Origins. I mean, I'm a huge Batman fan. And that one honestly probably felt the most Batman-y to me.
Yeah, that's why I wish they would remaster it, because I didn't like Arkham Knight, because majority of the game, like there's these missions where you can't get past it without using the bat tank.
Yeah.
And I hate that thing, because I didn't mind it when you were in the street fighting the other tanks. I was like, okay, this makes sense. But it's like, why am I using the bat tank to get in this building when Batman could just scale up it himself?
Yeah.
That makes no sense. I stopped playing the game after that. There was a mission where you could not complete it without using the bat tank.
Yep.
And I'm like, this is redundant and unnecessary. And then I just never played it again.
I had a big problem with the story. Even like, first of all, the billing was like, oh, that we're gonna have a new villain never before seen, something.
Arkham Knight sucks anyway. I don't
and
like
then
that.
It's like, well, that's the Joker kind of again. And it's like it's been secretly the Joker like 10 times.
Let's keep it the Joker. Exactly. Just why I add this new guy.
Yep.
Yeah. Although I actually did like the way they introduced the villains in Arkham Origins, all the different Batman villains.
Yeah. I thought that was super cool. One of my favorite pieces of media is there was like a CGI trailer for that one. And it's Batman just like coming out of, there's like guys planting bombs in like a building, and he just breaks out of the boards and starts taking them out. And it's just like, and then he fights Deathstroke. I've watched that trailer like 1,000 times.
And yeah, I remember when that trailer first came out. And then the Black Mask is more interesting than Arkham Knight.
Oh yeah, and that was my one beef with that game though, was like I kind of wish Black Mask wasn't because isn't it the Joker? Spoiler alert. Like I'm fine. I love the Joker, but it was like I would have been fine with them giving Black Mask like proper an actual spotlight.
I wish they would remaster that game.
Yeah, me too.
Just give Arkham Origins the same visual love that you give Arkham Knight. I could just
that was a different studio too, I think, right? It felt like they didn't get as much of a budget or time. But I also love the design. Like that may be my favorite Batman video game like character design, because he's got the earlier like it looks more like functional armor versus later it's so high tech looking it just looks it's a little pushed too far. Just my personal taste.
Now I could see Batman standing on top of one of these this illustration, but I'm trying to work in the fur here, but I wanted to work her into the cloud elements.
Yeah,
she's a physical being, but she's also elemental.
No, using the clouds that really accentuates the scale if she's drifting into that.
My background is painting, so I'm more of a painter than I am a draftsman, believe it or not. Even though a lot of the work I'm known for is the drawings I did on Halo, the technical. Yeah. But painting is more my background. That's what I love to do. I love to do that more than anything.
Yeah, were you doing a children's book or something as well? Illustration? Yeah. I remember you showing me like a few snippets of that when we were in LA.
Yeah, it's a completely different thing from what I'm known for, but it's
It
I
was
like.
pretty. That's all I remember. I remember there was some like tropical, kind of like just settings that looked really, really pretty. Like the colors were just amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, I like to do different genres, different things. Um, so yeah, that's one of the things. I love Disney backgrounds.
Yeah,
The Pixar ones are cool too, but I mean the traditionally painted Disney
yeah, yeah. I really like how you have the fur, like the mane so far, like that. It looks like it's like hard to tell. Is it fur? Is it like cloud kind of swirls?
Yeah, that was the goal. I wanted to, it's like, how do I come right up to the line where it starts to look cloudy, but not
Yeah,
so cloudy to where you don't see that it's a physical being.
which is tough, but I think you pulled it off well.
Thank you.
I like the face shape a lot too.
Thank you. One thing I was worried about, and I don't think I did a good job of, is the style of it doesn't feel very Eastern.
Oh, sure.
But I was just thinking like I was trying to illustrate this to the best of my sensibilities, and this is what I came up with.
I will say, there's a lot of iconic Eastern shapes and designs and stuff, but I always struggle trying to work that in more than, I mean, referencing God of War, you can throw Norse knots on, like, you can integrate and throw that into anything and it just looks cool. And it's like, I don't want to say it's easy to do, but it's easier. And when you look up some of the Asian stuff, it's weirdly almost like futuristic, or it's super geometric, and it's kind of hard to like make it feel ancient at the same time. Which is why I end up going to the way that Asian art does like the cloud swirls, like the ancient Chinese kind of like calligraphy, ends up being kind of like a motif a lot. But
I also didn't want her to feel like oh, it's, for the lack of a better way to say it, I didn't want her to feel like a toy
yeah,
or cartoon like. Just like, how do I make her look as realistic as possible? Like, how would she really look if she were an actual physical being? That was the best I could come up with.
it's funny how hard or how easy it is to lose the believability even with the scale, because I remember watching one of the Godzilla movies in 3D, and it honestly ruined it for me because he's 3D and it looks like he's like a toy in front of you because he's only this big. Even though he's on this huge screen, the 3D effect makes him look like tiny. So I think like the movie would have been viewed a lot better not in 3D, because then you'd have more of the scale. But ooh, I like the purple or the pink accent there.
Thanks. Yeah, they were originally blue, and then I decided to make the blue kind of like an under layer because I want the eyes to match the cherry blossoms.
Yeah, yep.
And to give just a different color to where it's not monochromatic.
No, it pulls you into the face a lot more effectively too, because other than the cherry blossoms, there's not a lot of like that hot, warmer tone. I like that you put some kind of like armory stuff on there too.
Thanks. Although I liked your integration of the fur with the bony plates better than I did.
Oh, it looks like, did you add a bunch of like flowers and leaves kind of getting blown up? I like that. That's huge. That added a lot of story and like feel to it.
Thanks. Yeah, you could thank the hours of playing Ghost of Tsushima for that.
Oh yeah, they do a good job with that. I didn't even think about that till you said it, but yeah.
It's like, I gotta put that in here. With something that big, lightning everywhere, water. There's no way the wind wouldn't be blowing like crazy.
Yeah.
Leaves going all over the place.
Oh man, I love it striking the tower too. That's cool.
Thanks.
Tell you what, this is gonna be my new desktop background after this.
Oh, thank you. I'm honored, sir.
Hey guys, quick interruption. This is supposed to be a super collaborative and friendly format, not supposed to be ultra competitive. I usually don't even want to pick a winner, but Eddie did ask for it, so feel free to comment below and tell me who you think won this challenge. Excited to see what you guys think.
I'll put this one in my next book too.
Oh yeah, I meant to plug that. And I'll add it to the beginning of the video too, but yeah, you got a book called Visual Atrium. You said it's a biography / art book. I haven't actually checked it out. I remember you were selling it at Lightbox, I think, but I haven't checked it out personally. I'm definitely going to be purchasing that soon.
Visual Atrium, The Art of Eddie Smith. And then I'm currently putting together volume 2 now, but volume 1 is out.
Yeah, I looked at it a little bit in person, and it was super cool. So having not bought it myself yet, I still recommend it.
But yeah, it's an autobiography. So I write about my life as an artist from the time I was a kid all the way up through my industry work. All the different things that went into me becoming an artist that made me want to quit art, and then keep going. And even my sports days when I played basketball in high school and college, and how that related to art, and how, you know, I knew one was more of my calling than the other, even though I was more talented as an athlete than as an artist, believe it or not. I just didn't love it. You know? So I looked like an athlete, so I felt, you know, sometimes you go through a stage where you start to be, you just do what everybody expects of you. And then you say, nah, I can't. I got to do what I expect of myself, or what do I find myself wanting to do more? Go to basketball practice or go to art studio? And it was always the art studio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't remember a day where I ever liked basketball practice, ever.
That's rough.
So, and I made it to college playing basketball, but you know, it was never my. It was never my love.
I played hockey in high school, and I did love it. But I used to think like, oh, I want to play NCAA or beyond, but you kind of hit a point where it's like I definitely didn't love it enough to put the amount of time in that you would need to do that, and it's like I just can't imagine being on that level. It's just exponential amount of time that you put in. The higher up you get, the more it's like that's your whole life.
But we do that here. I mean, you and I, we could sit here for 14 hours and it feel like 4 hours.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You put me in a basketball gym for 4 minutes, it feels like 4 days.
Yep.
Like I don't want to be in there. Even today, like I don't shoot around. I don't want to be around it. I might watch it on TV, and even then, today's NBA kind of sucks to me. Like I don't like the Jordan Kobe era. After that, I'm good.
Yep.
But I digress on that.
Are you familiar with what's it called? It's a Japanese term actually. Ikigai, I think. I think it means there's probably a better definition, but it's essentially something that is like a calling in a way that like you can sit down. I think one of the ways they define it is you can sit down and do the thing and you forget to eat. Like you're just so engrossed. And like that's art for me. You know, like I can sit down and be like, oh shit, it's been like 8 hours and I haven't eaten anything or gotten up. It's like
we don't recommend this. So anybody does art and then you kill over and die. I don't want Jake to get sued.
Yeah, definitely set some timers. Stretch or move around a little bit.
That happened in a South Korean what was it? It was one of those they used to call them internet cafes.
The internet cafes. Yeah,
like these guys were playing. I don't know if it was Fortnite. No, not Fortnite. Team Fortress. Remember Team Fortress?
Yeah. Yep.
The first one, not the cartoony one, but the first one was more like the Call of Duty before Call of Duty. These guys were playing it so long they didn't eat, and one of them died from. Yeah,
I remember hearing like people didn't even notice he was dead for like a few hours. Like
he was playing for days and he didn't eat.
Insanity. So don't do that.
Don't do that.
Take some breaks. Get some balance in there. But it is a helpful tell of like, oh yeah, this is the thing I like to do because I can just lose myself in the process.
So yeah, I talk about that in the book, and all some of the industry experiences I've had, you know. And
Yeah,
then,
no, I really want to check it out because um, honestly, even recently, it's like, it's just tough. I'm still trying to like, there's certain goals I want to hit that are elusive, and when um, there's no closure, or there's no like clear end date, or like clear like this is when it's going to happen kind of a thing. It's easy to get desperate. I think a lot of artists struggle with quitting because like you have to know why you're doing it day to day, and like if you do have goals, they have to be the right ones, not just for what you want, but for like sanity's sake. Because if you there's certain goals, like if you want to, I want to get AAA game studio whatever by this date, that's not a guarantee, and like you have to have more process related goals, I guess, or journey related goals than end goals. So I'm curious. I'm really curious to just hear your experience about that, and like because you mentioned like you were struggling with quitting. I know Carla Ortiz had an interesting anecdote about her and her father, because I think her father was a musician or something, and she said she called him, and she was like on the verge of tears or in tears, like saying like, "Yeah, I want to quit," and he's like, "Well, congratulations. Now you're really an artist. If you're not wanting to quit, you're probably not really giving it all you got." So I thought that was super interesting. But yeah.
Even recently, you know, several times I've considered leaving the industry or just not doing this anymore.
Yeah,
because it's become really hard to find work, or you know, rewarding work if you do find it. And then when you do find rewarding work, it's hard to keep. Like that project doesn't last, or you know, it gets finished and then you know, move on to something else, or you don't move on to anything else and you're just kind of in limbo. And you know, having spent 20 plus years, like I got in the industry when it was inventing itself, and then right when I really got into it, it started to become a career.
Yeah.
So 20 years of just stable work, and then now, okay, production art and games is now a gig economy, like it always has been in movies.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's, you know, the new artists are learning or being introduced to that, which I would rather be a young new artist today, because now I'm introduced to something without having prior experience of how it used to be.
Right.
And so I have to get reintroduced to how it used to be, you know.
Yeah, it's a shift.
Because it used to, you know, the concept artists were in movies when I got in it. Matter of fact, I got into games to get into movies, because games was still a niche industry back then.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, you know, right when I got to Microsoft and especially Bungie, when I was there, the game industry started to become the industry that production artists, they were leaving movies, coming into games.
Yeah.
So I was like, I might as well stay here and do, you know, what, you know, if everybody's running out of a room, I probably don't want to run into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like everybody's running out of that room. I was like, nah, maybe I shouldn't go in there. I wanted to see what was in it, but everybody's running out, pulling their hair. So this industry now is a full-fledged gig economy that hasn't even gotten going yet. It's kind of in a holding pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So now artists have to figure out a way to monetize themselves or create their own work, create their own identity that they can get. And that's a learning process for all of us. And so, even in this, the wanting to stop, you know, that has been a very recent experience for me, like wanting to quit this. And then my first time at Lightbox, it convinced me not to. Yeah,
Lightbox was huge. What was the first time you went?
Well, I visited in 23.
Okay.
24 was my first time tabling. It was my first time tabling Lightbox, and it was my first time tabling anything.
Yeah.
And so it was a good experience. That I was lucky to be able to do Lightbox 25. Because, you know, usually you don't. They like to give artists new artists.
Which I appreciate, but I'm glad that they get some repeat. I mean, like there's a lot of people I just really like to see table, so I'm glad they get to get in again too. So
I felt fortunate. Like I didn't expect it, and it happened. So I was, you know, and then I did Comic-Con Revolution in Ontario, California, which I'm going to be there again this year. And so
what time of year is that?
It's in May.
May. Okay, cool.
Yeah, May. So I would love to go to Lightbox 26, whether it be the table or as a presenter.
Yeah.
Some capacity, I would love to be there. So.
Yeah. No, for me, it's like I've just gone. I did try to table like last year, but I've just gone the last 3 years just to network and hang out with people, and like also to kind of just keep myself from wanting to quit, because it's so inspirational and you just get all hyped up on stuff. And sometimes it comes in unexpected ways. Like I didn't do that many panels, or like go to that many panels last time, but the one that I did go to because I love this movie was just kind of a behind the scenes interview with people that did. It was the 25th anniversary of Emperor's New Groove, which is like underrated Disney movie, but it's one of my favorite movies. And it's just like, that's so far from like the work that I do, but just seeing like the creative spark of those people, even like the writers and stuff, huge.
I hear rumors that Disney's going to go back to the traditionally animated.
Oh, really? That'd be cool. I'd love to see that.
I hope they do, because not only is that process unbeatable results wise and process wise, like you enjoy, watching the animators flip just on their light boxes, and you enjoy seeing how that works.
Yep.
And it's one of the few things where you can see how it works, and the magic, it adds to the magic.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it. There's certain things like that.
It adds to it. It doesn't make it feel cheap. And now that they did that.
Yeah. One that blew my mind. I watched Industrial Light, or Light and Magic is the name of the documentary, but it's about Industrial Light and Magic and some of the matte painting stuff. I didn't even know how they did the matte painting, and this is like early like early 70s Star Wars or late 70s Star Wars, but oh man, some of those matte paintings are just crazy. You see these huge 4 by 8 feet glass panes with just like some of the coolest freaking paintings on them.
Here, I'll show you something real quick. This is in my book.
Yeah.
I talk about Industrial Light and Magic. When I was 11, my parents took me to Suncoast. Suncoast was a video store back in the 80s and 90s. There wasn't a mall in California, probably in the States, that didn't have a Suncoast. And this book, Industrial Light and Magic, was in the store. And that's right there when I knew I wanted to be. The way Ray Liotta knew he always wanted to be a gangster in Goodfellas, that was my moment. I was like, I want to do that.
Nice.
And my parents bought me the book. And when I was at Magnopus, the production house that developed Wizard of Oz for Sphere, when I was there, I was sitting next to Rocco Gioff, and working also right across from me was Craig Barron. So these were two of their legendary mappers who worked at ILM. Yeah. So sitting next to them, sitting right next to them for 3 months, that was like, I likened it to a rookie pitcher sitting in the dugout with Clayton Kershaw. Yeah. And when Clayton Kershaw was in his heyday, that rookie was 11, 12 years old. Yep. And now he's in a dugout with him. Yep. So that's what it was like for me.
Wow, man, I'm gonna buy your book like as soon as we're done with this call, pretty much. It sounds like there's a lot of just good stuff in there. And for just the listeners, like definitely check out the Light and Magic documentary. It's super, super cool.
You'll regret quitting.
Yeah, it's hard to. Even if I did quit, I'd probably come back. It's like it's hard to just stay away,
But coming back from it is harder to do than rising from whatever made you want to quit. Nothing's easy, but rising from whatever made you want to quit is a more feasible process than trying to come back after you've quit. Because it's still an industry, and the industry has a way of saying, "Oh no, you left, stay out." Yeah. Why are you here now?
Especially if you quit professionally. Yeah.
It has a way of punishing you. Shouldn't do that, but it has a way of doing it.
It's interesting. And I think too, like if quitting is an issue, usually it's not that you don't. It can be that you don't want to do art. Like maybe you just don't want to do it. But usually it's something else that's disconnecting you from why you were doing it in the first place. Like it's tunnel vision on, I need the job to be happy, or I need this specific job to be happy, or whatever it is. And then like I'm discovering this myself and trying to use this exact thing. But it's like if you take a step back and think, why do I like doing this in the first place? Like for me, concept art, I go back to being a kid, seeing Jurassic Park and movies like that, where it's just like, oh man, there's these such cool ideas, and I could think about them for hours and just doodle whatever, like cool ideas for hours. Getting back to that, maybe like doing something that's not for work, or that not for your portfolio, not you're gonna show anybody, just for yourself, and just remembering why you like it. I think it's hard to be aware of the burnout or the desperation as it's creeping up, that you're like, all of a sudden you're like, oh man, I can't take this anymore, I just gotta get out. But if you can disconnect from that and be like, oh well, why did I love this before? Yeah, and I think that's what keeps it going.
I'm gonna take a risk at speaking for a lot of artists, including yourself.
Yeah.
I think there's a general consensus as to what we've become disillusioned about. Now, I can go into specific detail, but I won't. I'll say in a general, broad sense, the business of behind what we do has become unbalanced. It's too business focused.
Yeah.
It's too focused on revenue and business models, as opposed to creating a really good product.
Yeah.
When you get to where creating a mediocre product still makes you money, then suddenly you're in a toxic industry.
Yeah. I would think even consumers probably are struggling with some of that right now. I mean, like, taking myself out as the artist and just like some of the content that I consume, it's like, this could have been so cool, and they did the minimum effort, and here we are. And when you look at like stuff like the ILM documentary, it's like these guys are like, they want the movie to succeed so they can make more, but like, it's just passion. Like, they're just trying to make the coolest shit they can. Yeah. And period.
They'll justify it showing you the quarterly statements. It's like, hey, look at the numbers here, and now look at the numbers. So we obviously did something right. No, you didn't. Not long term, because the projects over here on the other side, they made just as much. Look, you can't say Avatar is not good business. Avatar is great business.
Yeah.
It's also great art. So this idea that you have to pick one or the other is a fallacy, or it's an excuse as to being okay with mediocrity. Now, this part, I think it's the responsibility of the viewers, the audience, or the consumers. If you're speaking from a business standpoint, they need to demand more higher quality stuff.
Yeah.
Stop buying crap and you won't be sold crap.
Yeah, for sure. And
then we as artists won't be subjected to making crap or phased out of a process that really needs us, but thinks it doesn't need us. And then I ain't even spoke on AI yet.
Yeah. Yep.
That really makes the business people think they don't need us, and they're going to learn the hard way.
Well, and that's kind of the pinnacle of mediocrity too. Is just like cheap, crank it out, no passion whatsoever. Yeah. So I agree. I think if you make something really good, like, granted, there's a lot of mediocre stuff making a lot of money, but if you make something really good, it sticks around in people's minds way longer. Like Arcane, visually amazing, and you can tell they put the effort into it. Yeah. And I think like people will keep coming back to that and won't be like, oh,
there's only one
moving on to the next one.
There's only one problem I have with Arcane, and it's not Arcane's fault. Arcane reminds me of anything that's done great. It produces tons of copycats.
Yep.
Only thing wrong with it. Now everything looks like Arcane.
That's true.
Arcane can look like Arcane. Our game doesn't have to look like Arcane.
Yep. I agree with that.
It doesn't have to look like Arcane. Like, let Arcane do its thing. Yep. That's not the problem. So
I totally agree there. Yep.
That is also disillusioning artists, because now they don't get to, express themselves or what they're good at. Or I'm not saying not broadening your horizon, but it's, I want it to look like that. Well,
yeah, even on like personal commissions that I used to do a lot more of. I don't really do them anymore, but when people would be like I do a lot of D&D character commissions, they're like, oh, I want this exact character but with this, and it's like, oh, that is just just go use that picture then. Like, that's zero fun for me to do.
Yeah, it's like saying I want my spaghetti to taste like funnel cake.
Yeah.
Can you make it taste more like that? I was like, this is spaghetti you asked me to make. Just because you like that funnel cake when you just came from a place where you had funnel cake doesn't mean I should make the spaghetti taste like funnel cake.
Yep.
And I think they don't understand when you have a lot of creative directors that aren't necessarily art trained, that's also causing artists to want to not be in the industry anymore. Like I'm starting to accidentally get into specifics. I got to be careful with that, because that could create a rabbit hole of conversation, which we don't have the time to do.
Yeah.
On a broad sense, I think a lot of artists are just, they feel like they're being phased out of the process, even when we're still being used. We're not allowed to add our own sensibility to something. We're supposed to draw like this, or make it look like that, or we don't see our work translating to what the final product is. And then you're like, okay, I just did 100 iterations of something you didn't even put in there. Well, that's a normal process thing. No, it's not. You made it normal. You've normalized redundant, unnecessary stuff, because you have a lot of non-creative people in charge of a creative process. That's why this person needs 1,000 iterations, because they don't know what they want. because they're not trained to, when I got in the industry, the average art and creative director were traditionally trained artists. They just happened to move up to the more high level managerial side of art production.
Yeah.
They still had a foundation. Now, a lot of them don't. They might know a tool. They might know Unreal really well. They might know, Unity, or they might know a production tool really well, but they can't draw. They can't paint.
Yeah. I mean, getting back to the Avatar example, like James Cameron, dude's a good concept artist.
He was matter of fact, I'm not gonna say he went through the same thing with regard to choosing between art and basketball, but people don't know he has an engineering degree or some kind of he's a scientist and an artist.
Yeah.
So he just decided to incorporate both in what he does, but he's known more for his scientist mind and how he applies it to his filmmaking techniques, because a lot of the technology that he uses for his films, he helps develop it.
Oh yeah, I remember
he's not invented to do the stuff he wants to do. So
I think it was at maybe the Concept Art Awards, because he got like a Lifetime Achievement Award a year or two ago. And I remember some of the people that worked with him kind of giving a little speech and talk, and they were like, yeah, it's pretty upsetting when we're working on Avatar and we need to do like submarine research. So they send us to this museum of all these like submarines, and the first thing you see when you walk in is James Cameron, who's like, their director obviously, sitting there with like an actual exhibit about his like deep sea diving stuff, and they're like, come on, like,
yeah. I remember in The Abyss watching the making of it, and this is in the late 80s or the late 80s, where I'm just like, think of how cool that stuff looks today.
Yeah.
Imagine how it looked in 88. Or was it? Yeah, I think it was 88 or 89. Because if people don't know, The Abyss was preparation for T2.
Yeah.
Not that he didn't love making The Abyss, which the people on set called it The Abuse, because it was one of the hardest movies to make.
Yeah.
They were in water like 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Until Titanic said, "Hold my beer." But that water tentacle was practiced for the T-1000.
Oh yeah, sure.
So
was that after or before Aliens?
It was after Aliens.
After a little bit, yeah. Yeah,
and when The Abyss was being when the initial press junket started to be created for it, Hollywood had this thing where once they heard something was going to come out, and if it either had a blockbuster or a high selling director behind it or actor, they would make other B movies to copy it.
Yeah.
So they had this really bad movie starring Peter Weller, which I love Peter Weller, but it was called Leviathan, because they thought The Abyss is going to be like Aliens underwater. And nope, they thought it was going to be this horror movie underwater. And so they made Leviathan around the same time. Remember, look back, you had Armageddon, then you had Deep Impact. They usually came out in twos.
Yeah. Yeah, like, it was this is like one of those things, I think I knew they were different, but my brain had just been them together. It's like Halloween and Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
It's just like,
They had to make a competitor for it.
Yeah.
They knew this was going to do well. They had to make another one. And sometimes both were good. Most of the time, one usually sucked really bad.
Yeah.
But so it was definitely one of those things where people do not know that his art background is, Cameron's art background is pretty intensive.
If you look at his art too, just like his conceptual stuff, I think he has a book. I saw in Barnes & Noble there was like a book about one of the new Avatar movies, and I think it has some of his sketches in it. But it's like he can draw very well. Like he designs super well.
They go back to the 90s, those sketches.
Yeah.
He designed the drop ship.
Yep. That's like serious concept art. Yeah.
Hunter Killers, the Terminator. The Terminator itself he designed. The loader in Aliens he designed. Yeah. So yeah, he has a lot of concept art, iconic designs to his credit.
Cool. I mean, I could talk to you about this stuff forever, but just to keep it moving. So I do have some questions I was going to ask you, a little bit more interview style. Some of these came from my Discord channel, which if you guys aren't familiar, I have a Discord channel. I'm trying to grow the community. If anybody has ideas on how to make it better and more valuable, please let me know. But there will be a link in the description to join that. I will invite Eddie. I invite everybody that's been on the channel as like a samurai versus a ronin, which is the general public. So from the Discord channel, here's a few questions I got. One of them was, how do you approach complex cityscapes and backgrounds? and how do you make that more manageable? And we saw a little bit of that in your process video just now. But I know, like, looking at your art station, there's some pretty expansive cities, and they can be pretty hard to, if you're starting out, especially, like, wrap your head around, like, where do I even start on trying to lay this thing out? And maybe a better way to phrase that is, like, very early on, what are you focusing on first, and what are you thinking, like, well, I got to get this under control before I move into further stuff?
I start out with small thumbnails. You know, you just make a small box, and then just really small, just kind of doodle out the landscape or how I want it, what angle I want. You know, very similar to storyboards, thumbnail storyboards. You know,
I think
start small and then work bigger.
Yeah, and like, not to answer the question for you, but like, whenever I do stuff like that, I have to do the foreground, middle ground, background, like kind of value sketching. Otherwise, it is impossible to manage. I mean, you have to know what's in front of what.
In shooting, they teach you that. You got to know your target. You got to know what's in front of your target, and what's beyond your target. So it's kind of like that terminology too, because saying target versus like what's in the middle ground or whatever, it's like target implies this is where we're focused. Like this is where the focus should be, meaning everything else is secondary. I like that terminology. So another question for you, and this is another pretty hard one to answer, I think, but what is your experience in getting into the industry, and do you have any tips for getting a foot in the door? I think they also asked, like, how do you think things have changed with that? And that's a big question that could probably be talked about for hours again. And I think we touched on some of it. But... That's not it, yeah. I thought I kind of really, but I thought I went too much into it. But well, one of the tried and true is always networking. You know, because that does work. You know, it doesn't seem like it worked, but it does, because every job you get, it was through a connection. And which is why I laugh at the standard. Remember, talked about standardized. The standardized way of hiring does not work. All this putting your resume on LinkedIn and putting your resume on Indeed and all these other recruitment, you don't get a job in none of that. You get a job through a friend who works there, who pushes, and they got to fight for you. Yeah. They got to really vouch for you, and really, because there's so much red tape that goes with the hiring. Because I remember it used to be simple. If an art director liked your stuff, I get an email. Next thing you know, that email turned into a phone call. Then it turned to come in the studio just to make sure I'm not crazy. Then I'm working there. I didn't have to go through all of these extra, like they're hiring me to build nuclear missiles or something. If you like my work, hire me. If you don't, why do I need to go through 8 interview loops just for you to decide you want to work for you or not? We're not putting men on the moon. We're not making aerospace tech. We're not making military stuff. Or this isn't, other industries, I could see that being necessary. Yeah. But when you've taken the general business community standardized way of doing things and bringing them into a creative art production environment, this is where you get all this nonsense in our industry. Like I said, in other industries, it might be really necessary. I don't think it's necessary in this one, but that's not going anywhere. But the thing that hasn't been eliminated by even this big business culture is networking. I think networking, even to your point of the hoops, it's like if you're introduced to a job, like you might have to do that more if they just see your stuff online, they're like, hey, I like your stuff, but now we got to vet you out and all this crap. But if you meet them in person, they immediately get a read on you, or if you are being vouched for by a friend, like they trust that, so then it's like you're already in. And just to like further push networking, again, I went to Lightbox the last 3 years pretty much just to network and to be inspired. But it's been completely invaluable, like just way more than you can even quantify, because like even this, I wouldn't have known you had I not first networked with Ariel, Ariel Cologne, who check out his work. I'll leave it. Shout out to Ariel Cologne.
He's a phenomenal guy. Supposed to be on my channel probably like 6 months ago. We kind of got sidetracked, but I met him at Lightbox just by walking up, saw his stand, and I was like, or his booth, and I was like, man, this is some awesome stuff. We started talking. I keep in touch with him, meet up every time I go back, hang out with him, and then that's how I met you. We were hanging out in hotel lobby or something, just drawing. So like, you never know where it's gonna go. I can't advocate for networking enough, and I think it's almost to the point where it's kind of the only thing worth doing, other than I think like post your stuff frequently so it's out there. But in terms of just like applying to jobs on LinkedIn and stuff is almost just a waste of time, because like I've heard stories even of like, oh yeah, well we got 1,000 people applying, they're not going to look through all 1,000 things. Like usually it's like, oh well, we have 1,000 people applying, but a guy already working here told us to look at this guy. Like that's what we're probably going to do.
Yeah, it's just I don't understand that. It's like, why are you looking at people you know you're not going to hire?
Well, why are they even posting the openings if they like already have someone in mind? You know, it's weird. I get it if they don't have anybody, but
well, they say, well, it's to give other people a fair shot, and it's like, no, you're pretending to give other people a fair shot.
Yeah, which is just wasting time.
A fair shot in a hiring process, because you gotta, if you already know who you want, you know, it's kind of related to, if you know the design, why am I drawing 99 other designs?
Yeah, yep.
It's redundant. It's not necessary. You're wasting time and money, actually. I mean, isn't that bad? Business, you don't want to waste money. You don't want to lose money. And time is money, but they don't, I don't know.
Yeah. No,
but
I agree.
Another thing where you can get in, even though the industries change over time, so how I got in might be different. The networking stays the same. And then the other thing is just find out the pulse of the industry as far as, okay, today the industry is more specialized, but it might go back to more of a generalist industry. When I got in, it was a generalist industry.
Yeah.
They wanted artists that could do many different things, because you save money hiring one person who could do 5 things instead of hiring 5 people to do one thing each.
Yep.
Well, ever since it got real super corporate, they only want you to just do characters. Mm-hmm. They want to just do environments, or to just do vehicles, and they see one thing they think you're good at, and they want to put you in that box.
Yep.
So right now, this industry is still that. So
one caveat I would say is, if you're maybe more towards the indie side, they might want generalists more, because they only have so much money and people to hire, and it's like
some of the corporate habits seep their way into the indie circle. So you still might have even though it's an indie company, you know, this is like if you just want to get in, if you just want to get a job. Now, about 8 months in, you're going to hate working for that company. You're going to hate it. And I'm not going to go into why you're going to hate it, but at least you broke in. Yeah.
And I agree on the specialization for most places, because even like a trend that I've seen with portfolios is like, you can't, you have to be very specific, not just to your content, meaning not just to like, oh, I'm doing characters, but also like you have to be doing characters in the exact style of the game company that you want to work for. It's got to be, they have to see it and be like, this is exactly what we want right away, pretty much.
So pick something you're really good at. I wouldn't say passionate about. Well, you're passionate about art, but you might like drawing environments, but everybody sees like that you do great characters. So put that best foot forward. Have a portfolio of just characters.
Yep.
And then have a generalist portfolio, and then just recognize what type of company, what type of project. You can even ask them, are you looking for more of a generalist?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah.
Or are you more specialized? And then you can
even if they are looking for a specialized person and you ask that question, they'll be like, oh, well, can you do other stuff? Because like, and that might, I've heard of stories where like, even if they're looking for a specialist, if they have 2 specialists, but one of them can do environments and characters and one of them can just do characters, they're like, well, we want the environment guy too, just in case we need the extra manpower. Yeah. And I think the advice of having multiple portfolios is super helpful, because even if you want to do all of it, don't send them all of it. Like send them, oh, this is a character job, just send them the character stuff, especially if it's like concept art versus illustration. I at least have those broken out in my portfolio where it's like, this is all illustration stuff, this is all concept art stuff, because they're super different. And the more you can just be specific when you are sending people stuff, the better.
The networking, and just be prepared for the type of company or job, what type of company are you looking to work at, and know what they're looking for. Those things I think universally work. Everything else is subjective. Like any other advice I could give, that would be subjective. Just, you know, because another industry person is going to have a completely different perspective on what you could do to get in. But I think those 2 things, the networking and portfolio prep, those are timeless. You know, those both work.
Yeah. I strongly second the networking thing.
Even then, it's a struggle. The stuff, the things that work is a struggle. You're not guaranteed. And so that's the part where I'm not gonna. I don't want to sugarcoat and give people a false sense of hope, but I'm not doom and gloom either.
Yeah.
If you're patient enough, you'll break in. You just focus on the networking and your portfolio. You will break in. You just can't quit. That's all.
Yeah, for sure. So one last question for you. Just get back to the whole meat of the video. Yeah, just what was your general experience? Like, what did you think of like the duel? It's really not meant to be very competitive. I'm not gonna be like, oh, pick a winner. I know you and I have which like favorites that we like or whatever, but I don't know. This is just super fun for me. I was just like wondering, like, what did you think of the experience? Did you learn anything from it? Was it a waste of time? Like,
Oh, no,
whatever you want to say.
it was fun, and yeah, I enjoyed it. It was actually more relaxed than I thought when you first presented it to me. I'm thinking we were going to be in the same room, like ready to go. But,
A lot of people. It's funny. I ask a lot of people. They're like, "Oh no, I don't want to do that." And it's like we're not. Yeah.
like a UFC, those slapping
Yeah.
competitions. I'm thinking it's going to be like, oh, okay, we're going to when you hear challenges.
Yeah.
And so, but no, it was more of a collaboration, like the drawing contest we used to have as kids.
Yeah.
And those weren't even contests; those were just so we could all sit together and get ideas from each other and borrow from each other and be inspired by each other's work. So that's what it was more like to me, like we're just two little kids sitting at the table drawing.
That's exactly what I was. The duel part. So the reason it is called design duels was partly because maybe imposter syndrome for me, but I was like, well, I want to go find these people that are really good, challenge them, but it's more a challenge to myself because like now I have to match these people that are like super good. And then like it's kind of like the idea of like if you're always in martial arts, especially fighting somebody better than you, that's how you learn. Like if you're fighting people that are worse than you, you're not going to learn anything. But so like that's kind of where like the dual ideology comes from. But I'm glad that's how you feel about it because it is meant more to be a collaborative, just like fun, bring the joy back into things a little bit kind of a thing. So yeah, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see the videos with other artists too, to see how it, like what, I'm sure the experience will be different depending on the person.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have to like go back and think. So yeah, you're like I said, you're the 9th guest. Most of them have been pretty chill and pretty collaborative. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not describing them well. You have to go watch them, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did have one guy. I won't say his name, but maybe I'll say his name later. That was like, I'm on the fence about it because I'm not really a fighter. Like I don't really want to duel. And I was like, well, it's not really. And he kind of knew. He's like, I know it's not like super that. And I was like, yeah, but we'll even bill it different. Like whatever I can do.
He got caught up on the wording.
Yeah, but it's like if you want, I can declare a winner, but I'm not going to do that.
I don't know if you were going to have a voting process.
No, I tell people like, and to the audience directly here, like if you want to pick a winner and say like, oh, I like this design better, go ahead. But it's art, it's subjective. I don't do a voting process.
They have these in the super chat. They have a poll. You just do that. Leave it up to the audience. You don't have to.
Yeah.
The audience.
But even then, I don't really like want to push winner loser because it's just like I don't know, like.
Well, it'll get you more views because people.
That's probably true.
Want to see a winner and loser.
That's probably true.
Want to see that, so I would do it.
Well, maybe I'll do it for your video if you don't care.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe I'll just ask each guest like, do you want to do this or not? Because I don't want to put anybody out.
Yeah, because you can't leave it up to us. Because I'm gonna always. Yeah. I like Jake's better, and Jake's gonna go.
I like yours better. So yeah.
So don't want to trust us, and then
for sure.
And then you really don't want to trust the artist that was like the artist that says, "Oh, I won. My stuff was better," because they are usually the real arrogant artists. Yeah. Most of them suck. There's a few that are great and they're kind of arrogant, but I can't even think of them by name.
No, almost every artist that I idolize, you hear them in interviews and they're like, oh, I love this guy's art. My art sucks. It's like, and I think it's because it's growth mindset. Like if you think you're good, you're not getting better, likely. If you think you're bad, you're like, well, I got to get better. Which is tough to deal with emotionally, but that's kind of
how we are. So don't ask us what we think. Yeah. I think the viewers, the audience, the fans, and fellow artists that aren't on the spot, that aren't in the challenge itself, they can give their vote.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man. I'll think that through. We'll put it out there. Well, yeah, we've been talking for quite a while, so I think I'll wrap it up. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure just talking about all the different stuff we covered. Super easy back and forth conversation. I really enjoyed it. Can't thank you enough for being on the channel, man.
Yeah, thank you. And you could have like little moments or like some very occasional live streams, like once your channel grows,
That's a good idea. Yeah.
where artists just come in, and then it could just turn into artists just talking. And however, I've seen live streams go for, you know, an hour to like 7-8 hours of just people talking, because you know how much time can go by.
Oh yeah, I mean podcasts, yeah, just hours of, yep.
Because it is, especially if you're how many times you met friends for lunch, right? You get there 11:30 noon, and if it's one of those lucky moments where you could kind of waste the day, the sun's like, it's almost dinner and you guys are still there talking.
Yep.
So just because if we love what we do, it's hard to there's so many avenues of conversation that we can talk about.
No, I would watch you play The Witcher or something like that. That'd be fun too.
Yeah, although I'm not as I would have to brush up on it, because you know some people when they watch game players, they don't like game players who suck at the game, or who they like watching the guys who he never dies. You know, he just goes through. They want to see you beat the map, and I'm like, now you're gonna watch me die a lot.
No, I even went back. Actually, The Witcher had the remastered whatever a little bit, and I went back and tried to play it, and holy hell, I sucked. It was bad.
It's because I love the game. I mean, I'm good at it.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks again. Super appreciate it. I've told this to everybody, but I mean it every time. If you ever want to come back on the channel, it'd be an honor. I'd had a ton of fun, and yeah, it'd be cool to see what else you draw.
I would, because I'd be interested to see what you would pick for me to draw next. Because creatures isn't necessarily my specialty, although I like doing them. But
well, and actually, so because we did kind of do something that's not your specialty, I'm a huge fan, like, of all your work that I've seen. I think my favorite is probably some of your Wing Commander stuff. Some of like I don't even know how to describe it. It's almost like that Ron Cobb feel of like just pushed, like, super cool functional fighter jets, but they look like they just would just go, you know.
Well, I grew up on those guys, the Ron Cobb, Sid Mead, Joe Johnston.
Yep.
You know,
I just bought Ron Cobb and Sid Mead's books. Yeah.
Yeah. So when all those you know, the early Battlestar Galactica stuff, you know, Star Wars, you know, you look at the Viper.
Yeah.
It's just take the wings off, like the X wings off, and then make it 3 engines instead of 4, and it's, you know, you can see the similarities because it was the same artist, the same guy.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's where my influences come from.
No, I recommend to anybody out there to go check out some like 80s movies, because there's something that's there that's just not in movies anymore. There's like I
can explain it to a degree.
I think to me it's like there's a slower pace. One thing I noticed is, like, we watched Alien recently, and like there's so much like slow panning over the scene, but it doesn't feel like you're not like bored. Like, you're taking in the details, and it really puts you in that space. And because they're doing that, they put so much detail into that scene where there is all these cool designs. It's like even the little buttons are designed in a way that immerses you. And I miss that. I miss the slower, like, we're not just going all the time of like current movies.
Well, the guys, this is related to also writing. The guys back then, they were industrial designers that worked in industries that designed real functional, real world stuff. And they were brought into movies to make the stuff feel real world. As where you fast forward to concept art today, artists are not necessarily industrial designers. They're illustrators who were inspired by other illustrators. Yep. And you're honing your craft strictly for a creative medium. As where those guys cut their teeth doing industrial work. Yeah. So
I was actually shocked watching Alien. In the credits, it lists Ron Cobb as concept artist. I didn't even think the term was around then. I thought that would have been later, but
it used to be like, if you look in some of those older films, they might have changed it to concept artist, because it used to be industrial design.
maybe the credits were just updated or something. But
you should say industrial designer or futurist. Say that, or you know. But it was the same with writing. Like, the early comics were so well written because the writers were editorial authors and book authors, and they were Pulitzer Prize winning writers who were asked to write a lot of these comics too. They were trained, you know, journalists and narrative artists, as I would call them. Yeah. And so you fast forward to comic book writing today, it's just silly to compare to back then.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just is. And same with screenwriting. You know, dramatists, they didn't even call them screenwriters back then. They called them dramatists.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's funny.
I mean, a screenwriter was a title, but
yeah,
dramatist was it was like saying actor or thespian.
Yeah,
you're an actor, great, but if you're a thespian, everybody knows, oh, this person is they're a bona fide theater artist. Like they don't really know their stuff. They cut their teeth in the theater. No retakes. you know this person.
Different level.
Different level. So it's a different. It's like you know, soldier, special forces. You know it's not to demean the soldier, but there is another level, and even in the special forces, there's another level to that. So that's where I think the differences are. That's why it feels concept art today feels different than back then, because they actually were pulled out of a real not real industry, but
industrial. Yeah, they're designing real life stuff, which is a different mindset. I like to think or hope that I've brought some of that. I used to be I'm a mechanical engineer. I worked doing that for like 10 years. And just this discussion even makes me think like I should be bringing more of that into my work and like thinking about that side of it a little more.
I would like to see what you do with it.
Yeah.
You know, which is I brought that up earlier when we were looking at my video of, you know, I know my background is in painting, so I trying to incorporate that more into my work.
Mm-hmm. It shows too, yeah.
Not that I don't value it, was, you know, drafting and drawing. I believe I still got to get much better at that. Like I don't believe I'm a good penciler at all. Like, but I still do it.
I think I'm the opposite. Actually, I like the drafting side better, but I still want to be good at the rendering and the painting. It's just kind of secondary. Like I just enjoy the drawing side a little more. But
the weird thing is when I have a micron pen, I like drawing more with a pen than the pencil.
Yeah. Ballpoint pen is like my favorite.
Because the lines are cleaner. Even if I'm sketching, I could see them. Plus I got oily skin. When I'm using a pencil, I get smudges everywhere. Yeah. I just want to stop.
Yeah. Try some different stuff too. It's like even traditional, if you try like a calligraphy pen or ballpoint or micron, like some of them I hate and some of them I love. And it's like I'm sure the ones I hate I just am inexperienced with, or like maybe it would get better. But other times it's like I am happy using these tools. So and like I get a lot more enjoyment out of drawing like pen or pencil on paper than digitally. Obviously there's a lot more stuff you can do digitally, but I'm not as happy doing it, which is why I like to start kind of my like thought process with some traditional sketching.
It helps get, you know, creativity going. You know,
I think it slows me down a little bit too. I can work too fast digitally because it's just forever.
It's what's expected of us because it's our industry.
Yeah.
So, and transferring files, you know, when I was doing my drawings traditionally, I had to scan them in. Now, granted, there weren't smartphones back then where you could just, you know.
I still scan mine in. The smartphone pictures never work as good for, like if you want it super clean. But yeah.
Well, we don't realize how much our hands shake. As with that phone is sensitive, it realizes. So
even with the stabilization, there's still it's blurry. It's like just even the lighting. Having like the flatbed lighting, I think is the biggest one, plus for scanners, because like the lighting of you have like a phone shadow and like all that other stuff. If you take a picture of a blank piece of paper, it's like there's a gradient on it pretty heavily.
The ones I really hate is when they ask you to those identity verification systems where they ask you to take a picture of your driver's license and put it up to the camera and it still doesn't read it right.
Yep. Or like remote depositing checks and stuff like that. Yeah. Cool. All right, man. Well, we're giving the full we would call it the Midwest goodbye here in Minnesota, where we just keep talking because we don't want to stop the hangout.
Yeah, don't bother me. But glad we're not having drinks.
Oh yeah, that'd be 3 sheets to the wind by now.
Yeah, I remember. Like I said, I remember my Chicago days. You know, we were at the bar talking. It's 2 p.m. Next, you know, it's like 9.
Yep.
Still chilling there. And then the conversation went from 3 people to 30 people. Because, our friends all kind of meet at the same place, especially if it's an industry hangout.
Yeah. That's why I like Lightbox too. It just kind of keeps bleeding. Next thing you know, there's like 30 people in the hotel lobby all hanging around.
Those are always fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll give you the California goodbye. I'll just cut off.
Sounds good.
All right, later.
Yeah, thanks again, man. Super appreciate it.
All right, no problem.
Thanks for making it again, guys. Please check out the links in the description for Eddie's book, Visual Atrium. There'll be a link to where you can buy that if you're interested. Again, there's also a link to my Discord community. Please go check that out. I'd love to see you guys there. Finally, my next guest will be Vadim Marchenkov, also known as Beyond the Pixel on YouTube. Go check out his YouTube channel as well. I'll put a link in the description. And we'll be drawing a sci-fi version of a Doulahan or Headless Horseman, which would be a really weird, cool concept. I will see you next time.